In today's Recoup live stream, we will be diving into our February 2025 roadmap. We'll discuss major goals, helping artists to gain access to a full record label at a fraction of the cost, and our latest progress on AI-powered tools and subscriptions. Stick around for our insights on product updates, Warner Music preparations, and a new feature to boost user engagement. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and share our goals for today while I'm getting that set up. Sid, I know you're moving. In one word, how are you feeling today? And in one sentence, what do you need today?
I'm feeling tired. I need Zen. But I'm getting that right now. I'm getting the vibe right now from you, the Zen vibe.
Okay. We got the Zen vibes. Cool. So right now, Sid just needs to decompress. That's good to know. We'll keep this call light. Today is the 21st of February. Overall, we'll go through, we've already said this in the intro. So we'll start with project goal. We want to put a major record label in your pocket at 1/10 the cost with a full team working so that you can focus on the art. Recoup makes it easy for musicians and other creators to build and manage AI agents at scale on Base, and Recoup helps musicians get paid. Any feedback or changes, or keep going on project goal?
Just a quick question about one of the things you pinged me on about the major record label in your pocket and your observation that other people are branding similarly. You want to take a 1-minute explanation of what you meant, and is that a good thing, bad thing, or just shouldn't even worry about it?
So last month we won CDP grant. Yesterday we got invited to give a talk on Coinbase's Discord where we got to hear what the other people were building. And so I got to see 0xJCK talking about their Momentify. I believe it's this. I actually don't know, so I'll probably need to look up Jack. Yeah. Make more music memories powered by AI agents. And so they're focused on smart tickets, but in the pitch that they gave, they were talking about how it's like a record label. I don't even remember the photo I shared, but we're seeing more of these. My vision for where we're heading is we're moving from a world of one winner take all and centralized service like Spotify taking 90% of the market cap to boutique services. I think we're going to see more and more a world where there's a lot of tools. Each tool is slightly different with a slightly different personality. And as a result, market shares will be more fragmented with multiple different companies taking part. So for me, this is just a positive signal that we're not the only ones thinking about this. There are other people. I think this signals that there are multiple teams thinking on this. It is a challenging problem and is not easy to build out of the box, and is also going to be very differentiated between one versus another. They're focusing on smart tickets in their pinned tweet. We're focused on a totally different side of scraping, getting an understanding of you, and helping you to build an AI agent. So I think it's two different tracks. And I think I don't want to use the word positive or negative, but I think it reveals that there's a lot more TAM to be addressed. And we're just starting to scratch the surface of all the available opportunity.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I agree. Are they B2B, B2C? What was your preference?
I would guess C.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah. No, I love it then. I love a good old competition vibe.
I don't want to call it competition because they're collaborating. Like Milo Agent, if you check them out, is constantly replying to.
I know, Sweets. I just mentally, for me, I need to compete, to win. But I'm also down to collaborate, and if it will help me win. So.
Love it. You got the fire.
I'm all for it.
So was there a reason you asked that question when we were discussing project goals?
Just because it pinged me when a major record label in your pocket, and I remember that we had mentioned that, but we didn't really dive deeper this week in Slack on that. So I just wanted to kind of recap. But it sounds like it was an observation. It's a positive signal. It's a big problem that people are trying to solve, and the big question is going to be, why are we going to be the ones to solve?
Agreed. Move on to quarterly goals.
Let's do it.
We are in, I believe this is the last week of February that we're going into. And so
Yeah.
we're about to wrap up month 2 of 3 of Q1. So we've got about a month and a week left to achieve these goals. First goal, have a valuable product. Second goal, lots of new users. Third, Sid and Sweets are using the product and getting value out of it on a daily basis. Valuable product. Last time, this might have been, I think this was last week, Sid said halfway there, I'm not using it or growing my social accounts or the social accounts I manage. We have an artist with 50K monthly listeners. We have engagement, yet Recoup does not auto grow the artist yet. Missing clients. Do you have any changes you want to make to your reflection on valuable product?
No, we can continue.
On my side, I've said that there's a lack of social proof and our chats and actions perform worse than Eliza. I would still agree with both of those points. Those points have not been addressed. So valuable product, we're not there yet. We need either clients that allow us to post on behalf of users or of musicians, and we need to include more social proof into the app to verify that the AI is not hallucinating and is actually giving us concrete data from social media. Next point, lots of new users. Sid has said this goal does not have a metric. I think we can erase that because we are now tracking metrics of enterprise pipeline, Stripe subscribers, and record counts, Privy active users. Should we maybe we keep these here? What would you say on a reflection of your previous response? This goal does not have a metric. Is that
you can delete it?
What would be your new positioning right now, or would you like to get the numbers first?
I want to get the numbers first.
Let's get the numbers. Has the enterprise pipeline changed, or still 6 deals in the pipeline?
It has not changed.
I'm going to start pulling up Stripe off stream so that I can get those numbers without sharing email addresses of our customers.
I'll do the same for Privy.
Thank you.
And I have Privy whenever you're ready.
Let me log in. Go ahead. What are we at? What's our new number for Privy?
Active users past month is 87.
Active users past month. Last week, this week. Let's start with this week. You said 87?
Yeah.
Last week was 103. We'll calculate that difference in a sec. New users this week, do you have?
New users this week? Give me
Yeah.
a second. 61.
61. So last week we had 12. This week, you said 61?
Yeah.
So monthly active users were still going down, but on new weekly users were up.
Correct.
I'm still seeing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I wonder how much of that has to do with you showing doing the talks, streaming. You were active this week, right?
Yeah. People are more and more wanting to know where we're at with it. Subscriptions, we're still at 5, so no change. Let's mark those last or this week. 5 subscribers this week. 5 subscribers. Subscriber count is not changing. Last week, and so that's going to be a no change. 0% change. Enterprise is also 0% change. Record count, I still got to look up. We need to calculate the difference. So we go to chat so I can remember the formula. Last week, 87. This week, 103. Last week, 107. This week, 83.
87, 103.
87, 103. 87. What was the percent change week over week? %15 decrease. For monthly active users, decrease. And then new users, we had 12 new users last week and 61 this week. What is the change percent week over week? Plug in the numbers, 408% increase. 408% increase. Yeah, we had a 4x on new users. So overall changes, enterprise pipeline, no change. Stripe subscribers, no change. So in the two ways that we are actively monetizing, no change. Record counts I have not looked up. Let me get that. I can show that one here. Dashboard.
What's the difference between record counts and privy emails?
You said you want to see privy emails?
No, I'm saying what's the difference between record count for account email and privy emails of active users?
Records
They're not active. Sorry.
They don't need to be active. This is all of them over time. So this is total users, pretty much. Total.
Got it.
Not active on any time.
I have total users available in privy too.
Yeah. Well, let's compare. Filter. We want email is not null. So email is greater than 0. What do we have? 236 is what I see in our database.
I have 350 in privy.
So somehow there are more emails in privy than in account emails. That might be that we've had privy longer than the account emails table.
Got it.
Potentially. This week we have, I think I said 236. 236 last week. 236 this week, 223. 236 this week. 223 last week, verifying 226, 236, 223, 236, 223. Week over week change. 5.8% increase.
Doesn't make any sense though.
Why?
Because privy says we had 61 new users last week, and Superbase is saying we only collected 12 new emails. So something's up.
Yeah, if we had 40 some new users in privy.
61, yeah.
Yeah, and then only 10 new records in account emails.
Unless privy's, yeah, that's a big question.
What's the most important question in this context?
Why is there a difference between Superbase and privy?
In privy, new users this week?
Yeah.
It's a good question to ask. I'm going to put this in a data section because now my question was, how are we tracking this data? What are your reflections on lots of new users, our quarterly goal, reflecting on the numbers that we just got?
I am less worried about it this week and last week because our focus was not acquiring new users. It was fixing bugs and making the product better. And I'm pretty confident that once the product is better, I can email everybody and say, hey, the product's better, try it again, and the numbers will go up, and we can do another push for user acquisition. But I think right now, my main focus this month, obviously, has been the enterprise meeting. So,
and I think that's a good place to be focused on to maximize our revenue.
Yeah,
as we're already seeing with people like Coinbase, as opposed to the subscribers.
Yep.
On my side, lots of new users, not there yet for sure. We lack a good enough product to get word of mouth distribution.
Correct.
The mass email marketing push is going to be that's like Tinder in the fire to get it started up first. But if people don't then propagate it word of mouth, we constantly have to be throwing more of that email marketing out, which is not the ideal.
Agreed.
How do we, not there yet, we lack a good, and then anything else you want to add here? I was thinking we could each give an MIQ into this, or we can just keep moving.
I think one MIQ to combine them all, but yeah. I like it. Go ahead. Yeah, MIQ. What you just said. You're not there yet. We lack good enough product for word of mouth distribution. I'd love to hear your MIQ on that.
What specific feature? Causes Sound of Fractures to share the Sound of Fractures is already sharing this, kind of. What feature causes Sound of Fractures students to share Recoup with their friends? What specific feature? Your MIQ was really good earlier on this week. I've been repeating it every day when I've been building. Do you have any that you want to add in here or skip?
My MIQ is the exact same thing, but replace Sound of Fractures with Warner Records or enterprise customers.
Cool. Next, Sid and Sweets use and get value on a daily basis. Sid says, no client for Instagram would add value. I said, not on par with Eliza for chat and tool usage. Any updates on your side?
No update.
I'll say the same. Yeah, no update. Good on quarterly goals. Anything else before we move on?
We're good.
Next, monthly goals for February. We have 1 week left. Warner Music Call. I have not prepped any other musicians. Now might be a good time to load in some of those to see how the new segment flow is going and to see how they are on some of these bigger artists. Top tier demo. We need to load in more artists. We haven't done that. The human experience. Have the account, prep the artist, human experience, autopilot dashboard. Go ahead.
Let's do what you just suggested, so that we can go through this together. I have a call. I invited you to it with Black Flag at 3:30 today to go with their leadership team.
It's an hour and a half from now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing else after this, so I'll 100% be there.
Okay, perfect. And so this Black Flag call is a mini version of the Warner Records call, where I can load up a couple of their artists or their roster and show them what Recoup can do for them today, and then show them what we're planning on building over the next month.
Do we already have that? Do we want to do that to set it up and so we can?
Yeah. I have it set up on my end. If you want me to share, or do you want to walk through it on your side?
I would love for you to demo. I will stop sharing and give it over to you.
Okay, cool.
Stop. We got a comment from Samir. Samir, this is the first time I'm seeing you on one of our streams. He said, LFG, let's go.
Samir in the house. Samir, when are you going to work on agents with us, bro? Let's go. All right, so for context, before we get into this demo, I just want to Black Flag. Okay, cool. I just want to just give you a quick update, a reminder of Black Flag and the call from last week or 2 weeks ago. So I had a call with Jordan. He works at Atlantic. He's launching Black Flag, which is a creative management company. Sorry. Let me just shut this off. He's launching Black Flag. Well, launched Black Flag, creative management company repping like game devs, plushie designers, graphic artists, like creative kids that already have some momentum socially, but don't have the infrastructure or the team in place to scale it, crazy. So their whole thing is like they do non-exclusive partnerships with these kids and help them go from 20K a year to 200K a year by optimizing their email lists, securing them brand deals, and pretty much acting like a management company. So it's perfect agency use case for Recoup, because they have kids that all of them like have somewhat of a following. It's not like the artists that are starting from zero, but the kids are super creative, just not optimized like a small business yet, right? They're just doing like cool shit on the internet. So I'll give you an example. One is Ricky Prosper, is one of their clients. He's a designer with 28K followers, and he's just having fun with it, concepts and products. So he like does Mac Miller art. He does these cool rapper emoji. This is awesome. He did Rapsicles, which is just like air fresheners from rappers. So like these cool little things that he did, and then they actually he used generative filtering to put this up. So anyways, they're doing really cool artsy shit, and like Jordan's company is like, I'm gonna come in and figure out how do we help monetize this, because he's obviously has a great engagement, great fan base, and has products that he can already put out and build. How do we help him, scale up his business? Yep. So that's the kind of, what's it called? Backlog. He gave us 5 other or 5 kids to start with of his roster. And the objective is to scrape and see what we can do with Recoup. So I started Black Flag at recoupable.com, which is just going to be the Black Flag demo account for now that we can use to demo it. I scraped Ricky, and the wrapped analysis has finished. So here we're at, and I see that the wrapped analysis looks a little bit different. This is awesome. Do you want to give me a quick run through of what you've done so far and the changes made so far with wrapped and segments?
Yes. Wrapped is now using our new database architecture for making it faster for us to be able to get those segments. And I slightly changed the style today to put labels on what happens when you click, as well as what the number of fans are. And you'll also see on hover, it inverts the colors. This is the exact same as what you see on the segments page. Oh yeah, and I also sorted them by number of fans. Before they were in a random order. Now the segments with the most fans is up top, and the least fan segment is at the bottom.
Amazing.
Again, it's the same as if you go to the segment page. So here, if you click on it, it'll generate a report. And if you forget about it and you want to come back, you just go to the segments page. You'll see the same list, and you can click on it, and it'll generate a report from the segments page now as well.
Got it. Can you do me a favor while I do this? Can you jump into this, the back end of this account, so that we can see the super base? Or actually, I guess my question is like, how many, when we just ran this report, what did it actually run? Did it only do the 100 most recent engagements?
The number of, it is still using the same limits that we have for Apify. And so, yes, our 100 limits are still being enforced across Apify.
And that is why we're only getting 124 fans for pop culture enthusiasts. When if we increase the limits, this will increase the amount of pop culture enthusiasts, or will it increase the amount of segments overall? What do you think?
It will most likely do both.
Great. Okay, cool.
And that'll just be a one-line number change because we have it hard-coded at 100. So if we decide that we have the budget to increase, we just increase that number, and you'll just see the page you're looking at now. Everything will just be increased in terms of numbers.
Got it. Okay, and then so I ran this, and it created a chat for the wrapped analysis. And then if I click segments, it'll also show me.
Correct.
Let's do it. Boom.
Can you did I not ship it? Can you refresh this page? Did I not ship? One sec. GitHub. I might not have shipped if I thought it was still. I might have wanted to do some cleanup on other parts of the code, but I thought I had already shipped it, so I might as well just ship it.
Okay. Okay, so 100 API cap. So
you like the new you like the new design over the old design? The design you're seeing right on the segments page is worse than the new design I built today?
Wait, I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Which design you prefer? The design you're seeing on the segments page, which you originally designed, or the new design that I just implemented?
Which is the wrapped analysis one?
Correct.
I like this one better. I like where it's heading better.
Okay. Copy.
I think it's missing like the icons, but it's not like the end of the world. It could be a little bit better, but I think it's better than what it was. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I took out the icons because it was an extra LLM step, and I didn't have that step in, and I thought I don't need to add in more LLM calls just to generate icons. So if Sid asks for it, we'll add icons back in, but for now I have removed them.
Don't worry about icons. I think the most pressing thing that we need to ask is like, how do we make this more value? The fan segments that we scrape and analyze, how do we make it more? What would make it more valuable to our enterprise clients and customers? So like, is this valuable enough? Or is there another layer, or is there a better, should we widen the scraping limitations so that it does 1,000? Should we give them the option to continue scraping, so they get more? Are these segments valuable, or is there any other segments that could be like? I think that like just thinking through that with enterprise is interesting thought process. The reason why I'm saying that is because I keep going back to the first call that I had with Black Flag, where he specifically was like, yo, we're doing a skateboard drop. So to be able to know all of like out of Ricky's fans, how many of them are like skateboarders in Asia, and then being able to like chat and perform actions around that segment would be crazy. So I don't know if that means like the feature is you tell us what segment you're looking for and we do it for you, like we create it for you, or if it's just we make a lot more segment observations, as many segment observations as possible until it just gets too expensive to do without increasing monthly costs.
Right now, we are just chucking in the raw comments that people are commenting, and that's what's being used. Observations that I had is we're not throwing in any bios of who is leaving the comments. We're also not throwing in the bio of the artist. And so those are two things I've been thinking through, just adding the bio of the artist that the segments are being generated, as well as the bio of whoever is leaving the comment. I think adds a lot more context to better generate segments. And then what you just said of custom segment. So I don't know where we put it, but someone writes, create a segment for sports gambling and allowing custom segment generation. Those are the two things that came to my mind. Your question, which is a good one, is how do we make segments more valuable for chat, right?
For customers.
Oh.
But yeah, step one is how do we make segments more valuable for chat so that you can have interest, you can do more interesting observations and insights and find opportunities. But at the end of the day, the real thing is like, how will an enterprise customer get value, the most value from the main tool that we're giving them right now, which is like analyzing and organizing your roster's fans into segments,
Mm-hmm.
and then figuring out how to act upon those, right?
Yep.
I don't know. That's the big question for me. Is I don't know if it's it. I don't know if they will more likely have a segment in mind that they want to research, or if they would more likely just want as much information as possible to then be like, oh, I didn't know that Ricky Prosper had this many anime fans in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but so it's like those are the two kind of ways I'm leaning towards. We can talk to them about that, and
I think that's a good idea.
But I think that for the call on in
Hour.
in an hour, I'm wondering if we should open up the Apify to 1,000 and do one scrape with another artist that they have for a bigger thing while we go through this, or do you think we should wait?
That requires a change to our backend indexer.
So let's not do that then.
Yeah, I hesitate, if this call is important, to be making changes to prep for this call within an hour of the call happening.
Nope. Let's just make sure that when we're on the call, we'll show them everything, and then get the feedback that we need to make their demo. To make their white glove onboarding as valuable as possible. So if they say it would be much better if we scraped 1,000 instead of 100, or it would be much better if we got the bios, or it'd be much better if we got the bios and like understood the first video that person posted or whatever. I don't know. Just figuring out like what would make it so that we can build it for them and then hand deliver it to them in a plate, so that when they start using it, it's like all the ammo is there, right?
I agree.
But I'll stop there, and I'm going to continue to play with this.
Have not modified chat at all. So if you try, just know nothing has been changed there.
Okay, so when you say modified, does that mean like if I click it, it's not going to work?
It will. Yeah, click on it.
Aha! That's weird.
Yeah, so we need to give that account a bunch of credits. Yeah. That account is, I'll look it up by email. Heading into Supabase, go to the tables, the account emails table, and now I'm going to ask what email I should be sorting on. What email should I be sorting?
blackflag@recoupable.com.
That is account ID this, and now I go to the credit usage tab, filter by account ID. This account has 1 credit because it's the new one. I'm giving it 999, 999, 999. That's 9 nines. Go ahead and try clicking it again. If it doesn't work, you might need to refresh the page. Another thing that I was thinking of implementing but have not is, like you said, increase new credits to 10 instead of 1.
Yeah, I think we should do that, so that way people can. I think that's also a huge reason why our monthly active users are dropping, because like you now can't do anything without paying. Pretty much, you can run a report. I'm sorry, you can generate an analysis, but you can't really do a report without going pro.
Yep.
Okay, let's try pop culture enthusiasts.
What I want is right here. Anytime it's thinking, I want it to start throwing in the social proof. It's generating a report. What's the data that it's using? Display that data right here so that I am aware of the data that it's pulling. What fans is it pulling? What other data is it pulling? Show it here on the screen so that as it's thinking, I'm not wondering if it's stuck. And I also get that social proof that makes this product more valuable, so that we know that it's not hallucinating, but it is actually pulling data from me, and I can verify that.
Yeah. Fire. Okay, cool. Is that the same amount? That's interesting.
You see a different number now.
It says 124 here, and hold on, I'm pulling up the analysis.
Yeah, it looks like it took you to / undefined when you clicked on the chat. Try going
It
back
did.
until you get back to the page.
Here we go. Do you want to write down that bug real quick? Because that's a big bug.
Got it.
Cool. And then, yeah, segment size is saying 261 here and saying 141.
A different number, correct?
Different number, yeah. Predominantly urban areas. That's cool. This is cool. This is really cool. And again, I'm going to highlight the sections that I think are going to, if we iterate for the purpose of just like how can we make this part better? How can we make this part better? Like, I think it'll be easier to make this something super valuable for people. This is a specific section that I think it's like, this is really valuable. How do we make it more valuable is the question. Potential brand partnerships, that's fire that it says like headspace. But like how would they go about it, you know? Art supply shops, that's cool. Meditation apps, that's cool. Content collaboration, launch an edition merchandise line featuring fan favorite designs, generic. Okay, dope. So I'm split between, do we make specific things better or do we make the overall experience better?
The more specific the ask, the more likely it's actually accomplished. The more specific the question, the more likely it's actually implemented. So I recommend as specific as possible is going to reap the highest likelihood that it's accomplished in a shorter amount of time.
All right, got it. So the first thing I'm thinking through is suggestions. How are suggestions working now, and how can we make them better to be more aligned with this specific fan report for pop culture enthusiasts? So one of them says write Instagram pitch. Should we click it to see what that even means?
Sure.
I still don't understand what it's pitching. That's so interesting. Do you understand what it's pitching?
Nope, no idea.
Like, it's cool that it like shows, it looks like specific things, but then it says also like Tyler and Doja Cat. So yeah, suggestions are a little wonky.
What is your goal right now in your demo? Do you have a specific goal, or are you just clicking around and saying what's on your mind?
Well, the goal was to see where we're at with the current state of the app so that I know the limitations when I give the demo. Whether I should click segments or not. I guess my next goal is we have this. What can I do with chat? How far does chat go? Do you have a suggestion on something I can ask Recoup about this segment to show value during the demo?
I did not build the chat. I have not touched the chat. I have not tried the chat. You are just as aware as I am of how good the chat is. I have not focused on it. We have not prioritized it. If you would like to do it, do it. Just know I did not build it. I have not tested it. I have not been maintaining it. I have no idea how the code works.
All right, so that's not good. Let me go back to another segment. Let's try a different one.
It's been updated now. You can see the new designs are here.
Yeah, this looks great. It looks much better. Let's do toy collectors. That looks really fun. All right, so it looks like next is chat. Okay, so I don't want to keep going down this path if we haven't touched chat, and that's like the next stage of things. What can we use what can we continue to do for this call to make the most use of our time? Should I stop sharing? Should I continue to go through this?
The prompt that I was on that got you to want to take over screen sharing is I said, let's load artists in, and we still have not loaded in any artists. So do you want to deprioritize the importance of adding an artist, or do we want to continue with the original goal of adding an artist?
Well, we added Ricky Prosper, which is like an artist.
Did you do that just now? Or from what I saw, you shared your screen and it was you already had segments.
Nope, I did that right before the call. So Ricky Prosper is a new artist. So I can do another one.
It's your call.
Yeah, we'll do one more. Let's see. All right, so he has, oh, here we go, a lot more. Oh, and the chats aren't going back.
They take you down to find. You can see it in the URL.
Yeah. All right. Let me do this. New artist. How should I do the new artist? Should I do it that way, or should I do it from the funnel?
I always do the bottom right, add artist.
Cool. While he pulls, let's see. Oh. All right, he doesn't have a Spotify. I'm just going to do Instagram. Keep it simple. While this is going, what are your thoughts on what's next?
Chat is a direction we could go. It seems like you find a lot of importance in chat and you like to focus on it for your demos. So if it's going to help you sell, we should focus on chat.
Yes, it will.
In that case, the question is, what are the specific acceptance criterias to make sure that the direction I'm building for chat is getting us closer to whatever your vision is for what's missing in chat? What are the specific aspects of chat we focus on to make sure that we're not just using a generic term like chat, and then a week later we find that we didn't actually fix anything because we didn't define the problem space clear enough? You've already mentioned on click of recent chats, which is different from sending messages. The chat names, on click of chat names, and then there's the actual chat itself. Are you more focused when you say chat is next? Are you talking about the recent chats on the left, or are you talking about the chat box at the bottom and your ability to send messages back and forth with the bot?
My ability to send messages with the bot, specifically about the segment that we're talking about, or yeah, I think that's the most
specific chat. We'll stay focused on one specific chat, and it's when you've selected a segment. This should have been fixed. I thought I just fixed this. Refresh the page and it'll be there. I thought I had just fixed that bug, but I guess it's still there. It loaded and it's still not there?
Yes.
Can you send me his artist ID?
Set.
Got the ID. Looking up in Supabase if he actually has any segments. Artist segments. Filter by artist account ID of his account ID. I do not see any segments for that artist. Let me see if we have social posts for that artist. Apply filter. We also do not have any. Oh wait, I looked up. We want artist socials, account socials. Run this account, figure out what socials they have. They have one social, copy that, go to social posts. Did we pick up any posts? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 12 posts. All of them were scraped just now. I'll take one of those posts and look up post comments to see if we got the comments, which are used to generate the segments. Go to the post comments table. It is loading. Post comments, I change the social ID. No, post ID to the post, apply the filter. No comments for the first video I tried. Go back to social posts, grab the second video, copy the cell contents, go to post comments, change the post ID I'm filtering onto this one. No comments on the second video. Current hypothesis is that posts were scraped, but comments were not. Copying the third post, going to post comments, expanding the filter, pasting in the new value. No comments on the third video, going to the fourth video, going back to social posts 1, 2, 3, 4, getting that post ID, going to post comments, filtering on the post ID. Fourth post does not have any comments. Going one more to the fifth post, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Copy the contents, go to post comments, change the filter to, I'm not seeing any comments for the videos that, or for the posts that I've seen. So my current understanding is posts were scraped, comments were not. Why weren't comments scraped? I'm not sure. Next step to understand is SSH into the agent API to see if it crashed, and if it did, if there's any errors.
Okay. What does it tell you which post so I can verify that there's comments on the post?
Yeah. Social post, go into the social post. Here is a URL.
Yeah, it looks like all of these posts get comments.
He looks like someone that's big enough that has.
Yeah.
Also.
Okay.
Copy cell content. I didn't send the right thing. There's a post. Lots of comments.
Yeah.
So it seems like scraping of comments did not work. Why? Next step, SSH into Recoup agent, if that's a valuable next step to take right now.
No, we don't have to do it right now. You can debug later. I want to make the most of our time today.
Roughly 10 minutes in our stream left.
Yeah. So little bugs we just found, plus chat, or segment chat. Question for you, which I believe last week one of your goals was to just get Eliza in the chat working, because that was going to. The theory was that was going to make the chat just smarter, anyways. Does that align with the make chat or chat segmentation focus next?
Similar. I'm no longer thinking Eliza is going to be helpful in our production app. I've realized I haven't deployed Eliza and have it work. So I tried, was not able to get it in our DigitalOcean instance. It looks like we at least have to quadruple our size, which doesn't feel like a positive way to move without very specific reasons why we need specifically Eliza, because we're currently running a chat without Eliza. And while it's not better, we can just add in something. I think we put Eliza on pause and focus on more concrete, what do we want, and build it in-house instead of trying to use a heavy framework that's going to increase our cloud compute costs. So in my mind, we need a reasoning. We need a context step, a reasoning step, and then an output step. Right now, we're just tossing in an input, and whatever the response is, we're feeding it out. We need to add in steps of thinking and make the thinking. So I think sequential thinking is a better way to phrase it rather than say Eliza. And I think those are context. One, based off of the query that is being asked, what data do we need to pull? Pull that data, show the data that we pulled so that people can verify we're pulling the right data. And then following up on the context, we now have context. We see the original prompt. Let's reason through that, run a reasoning step. Please reason on the prompt using the data. What is the best way that we can respond based off of the information available? After we have reasoned, then we give an output. So we have context, we have reasoning, and then we output finally. Right now, we're just outputting. I'm suggesting we throw in both a context step and a reasoning step to make our thinking more sequential instead of just raw dogging a response.
Samir said more like agentic workflow.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. You see Samir saying it. Samir's watching. Thanks for tuning in, Samir.
Samir's watching.
Like you're here.
What about memory?
It's already got memory.
So we're good. Okay, cool.
But that would be included in the context step of if there's other records.
Got it. Cool. All right. Whatever you think is best. I just want the Warner call is next Friday, Thursday, the 27th, whenever that is. So I just want to get the app to a place where.
Let's be very specific. You would like the chat to be in a specific place, right?
Yes, I want.
The more broad you make it, the more likely our gunshots are going to go in multiple directions, and we don't end up getting any of it done. We have 1 week.
I agree.
We decide to prioritize segments. Let's be very specific in what you would like to accomplish between this week and next week, so we actually do it. Instead of not having clarity during this call, we end up not deciding till Monday, and then we've already lost an entire weekend to get closer to our very specifically defined goal.
It's two things. First thing is, yes, segment chats, because that will allow me to pitch the entire demo and then to see from scraping to, oh, now what can I do with all of the scraping data? Segment chats. The second thing is let's increase the amount of comments or anything else that we can do to increase the value of the segments that we're generating. Whether that be go from 100 to 1,000, whether that be add the bio, whatever it will be, so that when I do Teddy Swims in the demo or whatever it is with them, it's like on enterprise level value, meaning like it's, if they're going to go get a brand deal, they're going to need big numbers of users to justify the deals, Does that make sense?
I hear you. We have 1 week and you have just said 2 very different features. I'm going to suggest that we focus on those 2 things so that we can actually make real progress. If you would like to focus on 2, we can. I just want to plant right now that focusing on 2 will diminish our focus on either of the one.
I fuck with you. Sweet. That's what I'm talking about. Get us back on. Focus on 1. Let's do it. If we hit the 1, we can move on.
Which one's more important?
Chat.
Agreed.
1000%.
Tenemos a alguien de Bosque Gracias, alguien de acá en Argentina. Sí, voy a pasarte un mate, así que podemos tomar un... One little second of Spanish to appreciate that we finally have someone talking in Spanish in our comments. All right, going back to the main order, or we've only got 4 minutes left. Do you want to wrap it up in a different way?
Jump back up. Pull it back.
All right. We have 3 minutes left. Do you have a specific section you would like to talk about? If no, I recommend we talk about next week's goals to get it concrete on what we want to do.
Do it. Let's talk about it.
Skip everything else. Let's define next week's goals. We'll delete this week's goals. Weekly goals is segment chat. We want sequential thinking, context step, reasoning step, output step. What else do we need? How else can we define segment chat and the acceptance criteria so that we actually have a concrete definition of success so that it's easier for us to grade whether or not we achieved the goal? Sequential thinking is easy for me. Either we have those steps in and it shows up in the chat or it does not. What else do you have on your side? When you say segment chat and you want it to be enterprise grade, what specifically does that look like?
I can ask a question about the report and it references the report along with the artists. So I'll give you an example of a question and the expected answer. If in the report it says potential brands to collaborate with, and it says Headspace, and I say, let's figure out how to collaborate. How can we collaborate with Headspace? Its response should be based around the context of the artist and the segment. Does that make sense?
What data do you expect to be included in the context? If you needed to make that decision, if someone asked you that question, let's figure out how to collaborate with Headspace. What data do you need from the from your report in order to give an answer on that?
I need to know give me a second. I'm finding it. I just dropped it in Slack. I dropped in a brand email pitch. So let's just pretend it's for Headspace. Anything in parentheses or anything in brackets is the data that we would want to grab from context. So artist name.
So collaborate means brand pitch. Collaborate should match to a brand pitch tool.
Yeah. That's much more specific, and yes, I agree.
Collaborate should match to brand partnership tool. See below. Artist name, brand name, recipient, specific interaction with the brand, was stuck by. Yeah. This is a good place to start.
Yeah, because then it's like it recommended Headspace. So pull Headspace's information, so we can talk about. It has context of what Headspace is posting about. It has context of what our artist is posting about. It has context of the fans that the artist has, and it can create a email to them saying, why does this partnership make sense? Well, Headspace has all of these posts about meditation. So does our artist, you see here, and our fans that are here. So and this email is a lot, so feel free if you want to remove some of the things from it, like if you want to simplify it or to make the deliverable a little bit more achievable in a week.
Yeah, pulling from the brands recommended is a stretch unless we really want to focus on the brand partnership tool. Because right now you say like we should know all this info about Headspace, and I'm just wondering, we have the word of Headspace. I don't know what their Instagram account is or their TikTok account, and so you say we're scraping that and knowing, and I'm like, I don't even know how. That's a different problem. I mean, we could think down that problem set. If we're focused.
No, but I feel you. I feel you. It might not need to do that because it might already have the context just in the LLM of what Headspace is, because that's why it suggested Headspace. And
right, for a size Headspace, they will know that. For the smaller ones, this is getting into like you want those to be more specific. We still don't have a good algorithm for that, and getting more information about the brands and doing better brand selection is a different goal than chats.
Agreed.
This feels like a good place to start. I need to add in sequential thinking. I think LangChain is going to help us with that. LangChain is lighter than ELIZA, so we can add that in. And you've given me a specific conversation to orient around so that I can do that. But I'm going to be hyper-focused on, I create my list of segments, I select a segment, Once we've selected a segment, that is the chat context that we'll be focused on. And I'm going to focus on understanding where it's at and improving it to be able to respond to a question like this with higher accuracy by the Warner call.
All right, fire. Let's do that. And I'll talk to Black Flag today, and we'll get even more understanding of what they would want to do with chat. Right, and I think that's the big question right now for this whole thing, right? Is how do we make segments more valuable for enterprise? How do we make chats more valuable for enterprise? And then eventually the next question is, how do we make actions or agents more valuable for enterprise? Because if they're valuable for enterprise, I know they'll be valuable for every other artist.
Most important question is, how can we improve segment chats to be more valuable for enterprise clients?
Yep.
Any way that you would vary that MIQ to be more specific or rephrase it? Again, what I have written is, how can we improve segment chats to be more valuable for enterprise clients? Is there a different MIQ you'd like to use? I'll write it down. How can we improve segment chats to be more valuable for enterprise clients? Question mark. Any variations? Did I lose you, or are you writing?
No, I'm writing, my bad. Okay, here's a variation. Out of all the things we can do, what would make the perceived value of enterprise chats increase the most to our customer?
Okay. Out of all the things we can do, what would make the perceived value of enterprise segment chats increase the most to our customer?
Do you like that better than the other? And I hear it's a little longer, but it's a more customer-centric focus. Like
Yeah, I think they're both good. Your questions, I'm glad that you are thinking deeply about the question, because I think that's one of the most important things we can be doing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Stop sharing and we can start wrapping. We've got half an hour till our call.
Yeah.
Anything you want to talk about before we wrap up with the call to actions?
No, I think we're good.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please click the like button, click the subscribe button, follow us, retweet, whatever the buttons are that you can click. Please click them. They help us out. Thank you for tuning in. This is Sid and Sweets signing off.